Hello students, welcome to the online class. In this class, we are going to learn a new lesson and the lesson name is solids, liquids and gases. If we observe in our surroundings, we can see so many different types of objects. Some are big and some are small, some are very small, some are very big. So, are all these objects, do they have same shape? No, they do not have same shape. As we know that in our surroundings, microbes also present. What are those? Microbes, bacteria, virus, fungi. So, these are present in our atmosphere. Can we see them with naked eyes directly? No, it is not possible. Why it is not possible? The reason is that they are very small. So, that is why we cannot see directly with our naked eyes. And as I said that there is smallest thing present in our surroundings and largest things also present in our surroundings. And all these are different in shape and sizes and masses also. So, what are all these made up of? What do we call these? So, let us learn first the important term, that is matter. What is that? Matter. What is this matter? Matter is which occupies space and has weight. If you observe in our surroundings, every object, it occupies space and at the same time it has weight also. If you take for example this chalk piece, a piece of chalk piece, it occupies space on my palm and not only that, it has some weight also. So, we can say that this chalk piece is made up of matter. So, matter is present in this. But this matter does not exist in same state for every object. This piece of chalk piece, it is in solid state. If you take water, water is in liquid state, and if we observe the air, actually we cannot observe, but we can feel that air, that is gaseous state. So, objects can be classified in three states: solids, liquids and gases. But why do they have these different state? Why all objects, they do not have same state? Why they are not present in our atmosphere in the same state? The reason is that the smallest particles present in the matter, and we call these particles as molecules. What do we call? We call as molecules. So, this matter is made up of molecules. These molecules are very small particles present in the matter. And do you know, these molecules also further classified. Again, these molecules also made up of atoms, and those are very tiny. But now, here we will see that only the molecules, how the arrangement of the molecules present in the solids, liquids and gases, and what causes the different states of the substances in our surroundings. So, what is that cause? The main reason is, first of all, the different molecules are present in different substances. For example, if we take our human body, so different molecules present in our human body. If we take the chalk piece, different molecules are present in the chalk piece, and if you take the water, different molecules are present in the water. So, in our surroundings, may all substances, they do not have same molecules. So, there is a difference in the molecules, and not only just difference in the molecules, but also the arrangement of the molecules also. So, there is a difference in the arrangement of the molecules also. As you can see here, this is solid state and this is liquid state and this is gaseous state. In solid state, how molecules are present, how they are very close to each other, you can see here. But in liquid state, they are less closely packed. But in gaseous state, the molecules are very far from each other. When molecules are very close to each other, there is a force of attraction present. What is that? Force of attraction present when molecules are very close to each other. Though in liquids also force of attraction present, and in gaseous also force of attraction present, but in solids the force of attraction is high. Why the force of attraction is high? The reason is that molecules are closely packed in solid substances. So, that is the reason these solid objects these are hot and they have rigid shape. So, we cannot change easily the solid substances shape unless we apply the force. But if you take the liquids they do not have any shape. How can we say that liquids they do not have any shape? If you take the water is also a liquid. If you take that water in different containers, water attains the shape of the container. So, in which container you take the water, that water attains the shape of that container. So, water it does not have any particular shape, it takes the shape of the container. So, with that we can say that solids they have fixed shape, liquids they do not have any fixed shape. How about gaseous state? So, gaseous state also they do not have any fixed shape. So, now let us write here properties of solids, liquids, gases. The first property here we are seeing that shape. Okay. Shape in solids fixed, and here liquids they do not have any fixed shape, and gases also they do not have any fixed shape. And now let us take another property, let us write properties here, shape and next volume. Okay. Shape and volume. And if we take the volume, solids, liquids and gases, in solids, solid substances have fixed volume. As you can see here, this is a fixed volume. We cannot change the volume of this solid substances unless we apply the force. And at the same time, liquids also they have fixed volume. If you take the 50 ml of water in a glass, and if you take that 50 ml in another glass, you can notice that the both glasses of water level will be equal. So, if the water levels are equal, then volume of the liquid also same. So, if the volume of liquid is constant in different containers, then we can say volume of liquid is fixed. So, it has fixed volume. First solids have fixed volume and liquids have fixed volume, but gases they do not have any fixed volumes. How can we say gases they do not have any fixed volumes? The reason is that we can compress the gases as much as possible. Do you know carbon dioxide gas? CO2. CO2 it can be converted into solid state. It can be converted into solid state, and even the gases particles, in the gases particles are very far from each other, as you can see in this figure. So, this volume is not fixed one, and the solid carbon dioxide is called as dry ice. What is that? Dry ice. So, gas it can be converted into solid, it can also be converted into liquid. Okay. So, if it is can be converted into liquid and solid, in that case how it can be have a fixed volume? So, it does not have any fixed volume. And now the next one is the property diffusion. So, diffusion property. What is this diffuse? Diffuse meaning moving substance from one place to another place. For example, if your mother is praying in puja room, if she lit the incense stick, then we can smell the fragrance in our room very far from the puja room, and it spread entire our house easily. So, how it can spread entire our house? The reason, the property is that diffusion. Diffusion, that air particles present in that incense stick, it moves and it spreads through the entire home. So, we call this property as diffusion. And now, let us see this diffusion property, how it is in solids, liquids and gases. If you take the solids first, in solids the diffusion property is minimum. It is minimum. Solids, they do not diffuse much. They do not diffuse much. If you take this solid substance, it does not diffuse. The particles, they do not move from one place to another place directly. But there are some substances, for example, camphor. Wherever you place the camphor, it can be changed directly into the gas, and that gas particles, they spread everywhere. But though that diffusion process is very slowly, it is very slow. Okay. And now let us see diffusion of liquids. Diffusion in liquids, it is intermediate or medium. Intermediate. And in gases, it is maximum. Because there are so much huge space between the particles of the air, that is why they can spread easily. So, the diffusion property in gases is very high. And now let us take another property, and that is compressibility. Compressibility. So, what is this compressibility? At what extent we can compress the substance? As I already told you that carbon dioxide we can compress that gas, and by compressing we can convert that into solid. So, gases can be compressed more, but if you take the liquids, we cannot compress as much as possible. Okay? But compressibility, when you compare with the gases and liquids, compressibility in gases is high, but in liquids it is just medium. And if you take the solids, and this is completely minimum, we cannot compress it. Already they have a rigid shape, already the molecules are very close to each other, so we cannot compress much. But compressibility is possible in gases. The reason is that there is a huge space between the molecules, so we can compress, we can make them together or very close to each other by compression. So, here compressibility in solids, it is minimum, and compressibility in liquids, that is intermediate, and compressibility in gases again maximum. So, now here we have seen 4 important properties of matter. What are they? Shape, volume, diffusion, compressibility. So, solids have fixed shape, liquids they do not have any fixed shape, gases also they do not have any fixed shape, and solids they have fixed volume, liquids they also have fixed volume, but gases they do not have any fixed volume. Diffusion property in solid substances is minimum, diffusion property in liquids is intermediate, and diffusion property in gases is maximum. And compressibility also, it is minimum in solids and intermediate in liquids and maximum in gases. So, these are the 4 properties. And now, let us see another classification, that is, for example, if we add sugar to the water and if we stir well it, and can we see that sugar after some time? Definitely it will not be present in the water. Then what would happen? That sugar will mix up with the water, okay, and that it tastes the water. it changed the taste of water. So, after adding sugar to the water and after stirring it well, and we cannot see that sugar because sugar is not present there, we cannot see that directly. Then where does this go on? What could be the reason why it disappears? So, the reason is that as we are adding sugar to the liquid water, as you can see here how spaces are between the molecules. So, when we add sugar to the liquid or any liquid, milk, tea, water. So, when we add sugar to the water, these sugar particles, they occupy the space between the molecules of liquid. So, they arrange themselves in between molecules of water. So, with this reason, the level of the water does not change. There will be no increase in the level of water, but still sugar dissolves in water. Sugar dissolves in water completely. But if you take other than sugar, for example, dust, sand or any stone, does that dissolve in water? No. Whatever the time we take, it does not dissolve in water. And can we classify all these substances based on this property? Definitely, we can classify, and the substances, the first one, substances which can be dissolved in liquids, they are called as soluble substances. What are they? Soluble substances. What are the examples for soluble substances? Sugar, it is a soluble substance, it can be dissolved in water. Salt, it is also a soluble substance, it can also be dissolved in water. Okay. Now, insoluble, what is the meaning of insoluble? Substances which cannot be dissolved in water, for example, sand, stones, these they do not dissolve in water, and we call these materials as insoluble substances. So, now we can classify here soluble substances and insoluble substances, and at the same time here we can understand another concept. What is that? What is the state of the sugar? It is solid state. And what is the state of the water? It is liquid state. So, solid in liquid, but that is possible in soluble substances, but insoluble, though we are adding solid to the liquid, they are not dissolving in the water. We call them as insoluble substances. So, in this class, let us recall what we have learned now, that is the substances that are present in our surroundings, how small living things are present and how large living things are present in our surroundings. Whatever that, either it is living thing or non living thing, everything it is made up of matter, and this matter consists of molecules, and the arrangement of the molecules and difference in the shape or size of the molecules, it classifies the substances as solids, liquids and gases. And we have seen 4 important properties. What are they? That is shape, volume, compressibility, diffusion. In our next class, we will see that what happens when solid dissolves in liquid, and when liquid dissolves in liquid, and gases in liquids. We will see all these things in our next class. So, till then, bye. Thank you.